Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into another edition of the Big Man on Campus podcast. It's 5 o'clock, which means we are here live having some fun tonight. Going to give out a few games here. We'll go over the card, baseball. We got NBA. We got some things. We'll get to it all and more. Hope you're having a great day and welcome in. Definitely some spots out there tonight to take advantage of. Kind of irritated. My favorite game tonight just got postponed, which definitely sucks. But we'll talk about some of the other games, try to find some value here tonight on the card. We got two NBA games, two NHL playoff games, and every team other than four are on the card tonight. And basically, we got two rainouts, Baltimore and the Chicago White Sox, and then Tampa Bay and Kansas City. So definitely full night of diamond action as well. Last night, wanted to kind of just touch on that. Welcome everybody in. I'm imploring you guys, as always, make sure you're retweeting the show on Twitter. It takes literally a microsecond to hit that little box to retweet the show. What that does is it makes it visible on your page to everybody that follows you. Obviously, we're not in college basketball season. We're not in football season either. So, the shows are obviously, not as listened to and not as viable, but we do like to get it out. Maybe people don't know we're on, and it's nice to grow the show that way. So if you can, please retweet the show. Anyone that does do that, as always, will get a shout out. I don't know if that's enough, but please do that. Just got done with the Ajax and Tottenham game. Ajax was very good. Defensively, they were terrific. They finished out. I mean, they were very good for the first, 40-ish minutes. And then, second half was, a lot of Tottenham going forward. Ajax just really looks like a team of destiny. Really terrific work by them. I thought Lucas Moura was very good today for Tottenham. But again, a nice win for Ajax. They go back home, obviously with the away goal. Obviously, that's huge. You can't figure it's going to be easy to prevent Ajax from scoring. Tottenham definitely has, their work cut out for them here. Do I think Ajax wins the whole thing? No. I think eventually the slipper will fall off. But you got to respect what they've been able to do. The Dutch league and the Dutch football kind of federation really hasn't had much representation for a while. I mean, the Netherlands team didn't make the last World Cup. They kind of went through a low point as far as with that country. You look at the league, the domestic league, all of a sudden, you got Ajax back into prominence. This is a team that the last couple of years, has been able to find their way back into the forefront. They went to the Europa League final against Man United this year. They're obviously making a run in the Champions League. It's nice to see some Dutch football back again. Look, is this a team in the 60s? No, but these are very good Ajax teams, and it's nice to see. We'll see if they can figure it out about a week from now. Last night, wanted to just quickly touch on that. It's been a weird series, Toronto and Philadelphia. Obviously, you look at the way Toronto played in the first game, and you kind of figured, well, they probably should have won by more than the 8 points that they won by. I'm sorry, the 13 points they won by. Philadelphia just didn't play well. Embiid didn't give them much. They really didn't get much from anybody. Then you look at last night and you say to yourself, well, how did the Sixers not win by more? Toronto didn't shoot the ball well at all for most of the game. You continue to get nothing out of Embiid. You're kind of waiting for that full game where both teams give you something. But look, a big win. You needed to go up there and get a game, and you were able to do that, even with your best player sick. Outside of Jimmy Butler, no one has stepped up. Ben Simmons has been on a milk carton in this series. They're going to have to obviously figure it out. Look, I thought this series would go 6. I'm starting to think that this could go 7. I think it could be a split here in Philadelphia. I think we go back to Toronto for game 5. I think Toronto wins game 5. And then I have a feeling that back in Philadelphia, I think Philly wins 6. This is an interesting series. I kind of thought it'd be Toronto in 6. But now you're starting to see with Philadelphia, you're not getting a lot out of some of these guys, and they're still finding ways. The bench last night was very good. I maligned this bench yesterday. I was on with Gabe Morency. I talked about this bench in unison. They played really well last night. Greg Monroe was awesome. Ennis gave them some really good minutes. Even with limited scoring, Amir Johnson came in and spelled a little bit. You didn't get anything out of Boban. You didn't get anything out of Ben Simmons. You didn't get much out of Tobias Harris. He's been a real issue in this series. So you got to be happy with that if you're a Sixer fan. I think it's going to go 7. And I think the series is going to be one of the better series of the remaining playoffs. Tonight we'll get into 2 of the games. You got the Warriors and Houston, and also the Bucks and the Celtics. Bucks looking to rebound, as are the Rockets. You have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them. Always enjoy talking to all of you. Thanks for joining me. You want to talk whatever, feel free to ask. How do you determine if a field is a hitter's field or pitcher's field? Well, I mean, they're pretty much already decided. You kind of just make a mental note over the years of what parks are hitters' parks and which are pitchers' parks. Obviously, some of the hitters' parks would be, Yankee Stadium, Citizens Bank Park. Some of the pitcher stadiums would be, your Petco Park, Chase Field. Some of these bigger parks. So that's kind of something that you just kind of have to research and kind of keep them in your grasp. I mean, once it's a pitcher's park, it generally is a pitcher's park. Great American Ballpark, that's a hitter's park. There's all sorts of ones. You just kind of make a mental list and keep that in the back of your head. Brad Borkwin, David H, Funny B, Chip, BMC Fall, Emza, what's happening? David Alicia, Christofferson, Jay, Dennis, Brian, Melvin, Raymond, Brian S., Alex Wander, Ben Creasy. Thanks for checking us out today. You don't need to ask me about what I think about the NBA. I will get to that in just a second. Do want to go over a few MLB games for sure. Will Sixers coach survive this season? I think he will survive if they win this series. I don't think you can justify keeping him around unless it's like Game 7 and they lose by a bucket or 2. I really believe that's the only way he stays. I just don't see it. I don't know how you can continue to justify it if you're the Sixers. What do we got here? Chip Piler had Ajax money line and the under. Good job. The premium you sent out is postponed. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I'm not a rain catcher. I can't really. I can't decide on when it's going to rain or not, unfortunately, is what it is. That kind of happened about 7 minutes after I sent the play out. So that always sucks. A couple comments, then we'll get into the games here. Looks like Ben Creasy's contemplating the entire board. I'll get to a couple of those games I have my eye on. Good stuff. How many calls are the Rockets going to get tonight? I don't know if they're going to get that many because Scott Foster doesn't generally give them many calls when he faces the Rockets. I believe the Rockets have lost 5 games in a row against the spread when he's the ref in the playoffs. Are we talking any hockey tonight? Yes, I have it playing hockey that I'll get to. What do I think about the over-under on Boston Bucks game? I'll get to that. What do I think about the NBA putting Scott Foster in the Rockets game tonight? I don't think again, it was decided before the series started, so I don't really think much of that. So, again, it is kind of interesting, but if you would know that the games have the referees already predetermined. What else do we have? Listen, Jeff, Scott's back again. Scott hates the show and hates me, but he still listens, so that's the goal, getting you to listen every day. Thank you. I believe you mean good. Please watch how you talk to people. It looks bad to the general public. Well, again, Scott, when I want your opinion, I'll ask for it. Go away, please. We don't care about your opinion. I mean, we're not going to go into that again, though. The links for Jeff's private list. Okay, yeah, I wanted to discuss that. If you want to join the email list, you want to get my private plays that I sent out, the draft plays that I sent out, all the stuff that I'm doing, you can email me at bmocsports@gmail.com. There is a charge for it. I don't work for free, but I did go 8-0 last week. I was very successful, did well. Try to win every week. If you want to join me, you can join me. I had a really nice kind of break for baseball, kind of had a few that I started with that didn't come through, took some time, jumped back into it last week, and I did very well. So if you want to jump on board, you want to come on with me, just email me, bmocsports@gmail.com. Did I see videos of Tua Tagovailoa? He's looking like a great potential. Yeah, I mean, look, he's the best quarterback in the country, which isn't surprising. Can't wait to see him this year. Benny Gamble. Sucks that Barstool said no. Well, they didn't say no, but I mean, okay. I've actually talked about Barstool. I fully believe that I'll be on board by June 1st. Barstool's kind of in the process of moving right now. So obviously summer's here as well. So yeah, I have no, I know people want me so badly to fail and not work at Barstool because they're so jealous and they wish they were me, but it's okay. You can dance on any grave, but again, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So there's a reason I don't tell any of you people anything, especially you guys. Well, I mean, you trolls. How much for a month? Yeah, I don't want you to sign up betting game. I have no interest in dealing with you. Also, Scott, I have no interest in dealing with you either. Anyone else, you can definitely join. Let's get into the basketball and baseball tonight. Chris Edge, how you doing, pal? Hope you're doing well. Always a big Chris Edge fan. I know Chris Edge is out doing his thing out in California. I met Chris Edge out at IFBC. What a good guy. Really nice character. Good to see Chris Edge. Hope you're doing well. I didn't wish I was you, but wish you the best. Okay, well, that's okay, Chip. I don't know about your life, but, maybe. Either way, let's get into some baseball. I like the Rays and Royals game tonight, but the game got postponed. So I'm not able to talk about that one, though I had some interesting thoughts on it. Let's kind of move on. Angels, Toronto. This is an interesting game here. We have Griffin Canning against Buchholz. Griffin Canning is second round pick out of UCLA. He's had some terrific outings at the minor league level. 129 innings. His strikeout to walk ratio is unbelievable. I think it's 142 to 46. He has me kind of really interested tonight in him against Toronto. This is a Toronto team that we know isn't great offensively. I know Vlad Guerrero Jr. is Mike Trout, and we have to worry about him, and that's true. We do have to worry about him. But, again, overall, this Toronto lineup's not particularly good. Like what I'm seeing out of Canning. I generally like to back these kids coming in, these really good young prospects in the first outing. Don't like to do it kind of long-term every outing, but generally when they come in, they haven't been seen before. They do a nice job. They kind of give you 6 really good innings. And I really like I like the spot for the Angels. I think kind of grabbing the first 5 is really more the idea here. First 5 minus a half. I'm confident the Angels can get to Clay Buchholz. While Clay Buchholz, control has been pretty good, he's still getting hit. He's still a guy that will put runners on base. I think this is a nice spot to back the Angels here at home, particularly in that first 5. I like what I'm seeing out of Canning. He was phenomenal at the minor league level. Again, that's not saying he'll be really good at the major league level, but this is probably the lineup you want to face coming in. This is not a good lineup. I think it's a good spot to back Griffin Canning here in the first 5 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Another game that I have my eye on, my email is bmocsports@gmail.com. I'll go ahead and put that in the in the box here. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in. The other game I have my eye on, I like the Mets tonight against the Reds. This one jumped out at me pretty quickly. Is it the best play on the board? No. To me, the best play on the board tonight was the Tampa Bay Rays. Really like that team. Had them on Sunday. I really like this team. I like them on the run line tonight. First 5 minutes, half. But again, that game got postponed, so we obviously won't have it. A game, though, I do like is the Mets. I like the Mets tonight. Listen, here's what we're going to get out of Vargas. We're going to get 5 innings, hopefully. That's the goal for Jason Vargas. Get 5 innings. I have a real good feeling he pitches well tonight. Look, is he going to be, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs? Probably not. But again, like the Toronto game, if you're going to face a lineup when you're not pitching well, Cincinnati's probably the lineup to face. Cincinnati's dead last in the major leagues in batting average. They're not a good offense. They don't score runs. They don't get on base. They just really haven't given you much to really be interested in. Again, the line doesn't make sense here. You have a Jason Vargas who many believe is one of the worst pitchers in the major leagues. Yet we're seeing this line backtrack, and at certain locales, including Bookmaker, Jason Vargas is a favorite right now. Big move back. Interesting here. This is a great lineup to face if you're Vargas. They are not a team that are going to hit you around. At least you hope. But I'll say this. The concern you have with Vargas, like Homer Bailey and some of these other guys, is you put your money on him and he gives up 4 runs in the first inning. That's kind of what you hope. But I'll tell you this: if I like the Mets, obviously I think it coincides with the under, because I do think Luis Castillo, the kid throws really hard. The only thing that kind of kept me off the under was, I do like this Mets lineup. You love what McNeil's giving you. You obviously love what Peter Alonso's doing. Brandon Nimmo's starting to heat up a little bit. You're getting some production from Wilson Ramos and Abed Rosario all of a sudden. And then Michael Conforto in the middle. I'll take my chance tonight with the Mets. Whether you like them full game or first half, I don't know that it matters. Because I feel like if you take Vargas, at least you have that ability late, because the Reds have always had a poor bullpen. That's always kind of been their MO. But definitely some interesting spots tonight in MLB. Listen, you got to go, brother. You got to go. As always, for anyone that wants my records, you can find them on Handicapper Watchdog. I put all my plays there. You can find them there. The thing that you won't find on Handicapper Watchdog, though, are the 6 props that I hit last week. That's what sucks sometimes about tracking systems, and what makes them a little irritating is when you pay for a handicapping service, you cannot put draft props in. I go 6-0 in draft props for over 6 units. I can't add those in. So, listen, I've done really well in the NFL. I mean, we can, guys like Donnie Rightside, they get all the credit, and they're great handicappers. But you got to start talking about me when you're talking about NFL. I know the personnel. I did really terrific last year. I only play about a player or 2 a week. Went 12-5 in the NFL last year. I killed it in the draft. I know how these teams work. I'm starting to really buy into this, the way the NFL works, and I'm almost starting to find ways to beat this league. I'm going to play the Super Contest this year. I'm going to play some of these contests. I like where I'm going with the NFL, and I'm really looking forward to really hammering down with it this year in that sport. Did great last year. Looking forward to hoping that continues. Couple comments here. Vargas sucks. Unbettable. Well, he was very good last week against the Phillies. So again, like I said, I'm not, everyone's free to do what they want to do. I'm going to grab him here though. Castillo does look great and all, but this is a good lineup. This just has a feeling to me of you kind of see this, the line just, you got a line that opened at 120 for the Reds. It's backtracking. You have the Mets as a favorite in some locales. Those don't just come through a lot of the time. What's the line on Vladimir Guerrero going yard tonight? Well, I mean, he hasn't gone yard yet. I would probably wager maybe 1 to 2, nothing higher than that. Because this is a young pitcher and a rookie. So I like the Mets as well. Luis Castillo is due for a bit of regression. Exactly. That's kind of my thoughts here. What's the line on Puig trying to fight someone tonight? Settle down, Funny Bee. I don't think Puig has ever tried to fight anybody over the last year or two. I think you're being a little hard on him. Got to start talking about Jeff when it comes to hockey. Yeah, well, hey, listen, I do where I can. I do what I can. You might be onto something there. I have done pretty well in hockey. But look, there are a lot of good guys that really cap hockey. I would never try to jump on their toes. Thanks to everyone for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button, retweet this show on Twitter if you can. It's always great to continue to grow it. What do you think about the first 5 under in New York, Yankees, Arizona? Can't wait for the game. I think both pitchers bring their A game. Yeah, I mean, for me, I just always have a major concern with CC Sabathia on the road against this kind of lineup. But you know what CC's always started to do? I mean, he's really kind of, proving everybody wrong. I mean, he was good for a lot of the year last year. But this is a lineup that scares me. This lineup is pretty good, this Arizona team. So don't really have a much opinion on the Yankees from a team total under. But again, the lineup, you don't have much in this lineup right now. You get more injuries the other night with Urshela. You already have people out already. It's just kind of a messy team right now if you're the Yankees. But, hey, they're finding ways to win. So you have to be happy with that. If you like the Reds, I'm thinking maybe over 1.5 first 5. That's too much juice for me. I wouldn't lay that too much. When are you heading to Vegas to sign up? I don't know. I'm hoping Atlantic City does something. That would be really cool. So I guess we'll see. I have a feeling I just can't see the first big football season. Not that there wasn't one last year, but this is the first one where you had all this time. I have to figure something is prepared with PointsBet, with FanDuel and DraftKings, with all these big books around here. I have to think there's some sort of contest. There has to be, and we'll see if there is. Do I think it will be as big? No, but I still think it's something that I would definitely sign up for if I have the ability to do so. You have to look at also by football season. Pennsylvania will have online gambling. We have had brick and mortar for about 4 or 5 months now. So, I have to figure somewhere locally, we'll offer that. And if they do, I'm in Atlantic City most of the summer. The Doggies is looking at the Dodgers tonight. Thanks for watching. Brewers Rockies over looks good. What do I think? Yeah, I mean, the Rockets have been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. You never know what you're going to get with them on the road. I actually really like what I've seen out of German Marquez. Actually, 2 Venezuelans tonight, which, you got to see some of the pictures down in Venezuela. Really unbelievable scenes down there. The coup is something that you don't see often. We saw a Turkish coup about 2 years ago. You look at the coup now, there is a general issue down in Venezuela. We know what the humanitarian crisis is. They are sick of being trampled by this Maduro guy. It's nice to see the United States back them, and it's nice to see some of the there's a lot of terrible videos coming in, but there's a lot of footage coming in that's quite amazing. All the people and the troops, really storming the presidential facilities. Quite interesting. And again, I'm not saying this has anything to do with this game. You have 2 gay guys tonight, Venezuelans. This is an interesting kind of facet in this game. 2 countrymen that are obviously have their heads somewhere else. Not saying that will matter here tonight. Again, I'm not going to be that guy, but you have to figure there's some thoughts about that. But again, there have been thoughts about their country for a long time. I mean, there's been issues down there for months into years at this point. But yeah, I like the way Marquez is pitching, so I'm not running to bet overs with him. We're not in Coors either. Let's get into some NBA. We got 2 games tonight. Yeah, I think everybody's turning against him. You have to figure he's going to be overthrown real soon. And good for the people in Venezuela. They deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of any happiness that they want. Bucks Celtics tonight. Obviously, most people will tell you got to bet the zigzag theory. But for anyone that doesn't know, the zigzag theory has not been profitable. In fact, it's been not profitable at all. So you just think again from a win-loss perspective, maybe, but I'm not running to just back the Bucks tonight because they need to win. They may win, but if I'm going to get 7.5 points, I might look towards the Celtics here. Here's what I will say, and I backed. I want to say there was a game one. There was a game a playoff round in the first round that I bet where I took one or two first quarters off a loss, game two, coming back at home. You just kind of punt them in the first quarter. I kind of like that angle here. I think we see a much better start from the Bucks. They were horrific in the first quarter offensively. They got nothing the other night. I have to figure they're going to come out strong in this game. I really believe that. I'm willing to lay the 3. Again, there's little statistical analysis to back this up. There's little perspective from really any angle. I just feel that the Bucks are going to come out here with a better, kind of game here early on. I think there's some adjustments made. I think they come out. I think it was the Raptors game, the game 2 against the Orlando Magic. That was a good one. I think that one happens here as well. Obviously, I think the Raptors are going to make a lot more of the shots that they missed. I think we obviously see much more out of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we're at home. I like the spot here. Again, no statistical trends to back this up. I'm not, I'm really looking, kind of squarish here with this play, but I think we see a really nice outing tonight from the Bucks. Brogdon will be back. I've heard game 3. Tatum under 16.5 points. I don't hate that, actually. Tatum was horrific in the first game. So, that's kind of a thought here. Bucks second quarter. I don't really – again, I guess if you're thinking it'll take a quarter to implement adjustments, that's true. That's surely true. I kind of like it just right from the start. So I kind of like rocking with the first quarter -3 here. I think we could see like a 30-24 type of first quarter here. So I'm going to rock with that. The other game, Houston and Golden State. I think we have to obviously bring up the fact that, the refereeing in this game and who's reffing and what the situations are here. But I think we also have to remember this series for a long period of time has been an under series. Whether it's the playoffs, whether it's last year, whether it's last year's playoffs, and you even look back to game 1. These teams shot 56 combined free throws in game 1, and the game still only went to 204. And you look at over the last 36 overall games between these groups, 25-11 to the under. You also look at 15 of the last 18 playoff games have gone under the posted total. These teams just go back and forth. Offensive possessions mean way more. You're getting, a lot of just really good offense, long possessions. You look at the last 5 games between these groups in the playoffs. 204, 193, 201, 192, 187. I mean, these have just been under games. And you're looking at a total in the 220s here. I think that's enough to continue to back the under. It's not a 3 or 4 game trend. It's not like 3 of the last 4 have gone under. No, 25 of the last 36 have gone under between these groups, including the last 5 playoff games. So, I mean, there's enough of a sample size here in the playoffs to back that. Again, you have to wonder, Scott Foster, does he get into things tonight? I think the officials have lost the NBA right now with some of the games. Every game you see 2 or 3 technicals. I think you're really starting to see a boiling point between these players, coaches, and officials. The officiating's not been good. I think we're starting to see kind of a tipping point here. I think if you could every game bet, will there be an ejection, I would probably do it. You're starting to see stuff boil over in a lot of these games. I mean, last night in that Sixer game, there was a 2 technicals within like 6 or 7 minutes with Nick Nurse and one of the players. You're starting to see, arguments seemingly every game. There's a pushing match of some sort. We saw the Draymond, James Harden stuff. We know James Harden's going to probably get fouled pretty hard at some point. you're going to have some things going on in these games. Do I still cover soccer? I do. Obviously, the season's getting close to an end, but I mix it in for sure. Kind of sucked when I left SBR because Flash was kind of my guy with that. Flash, Alex, Natalie, all those guys were kind of we all kind of did stuff together, and they all still work at SBR. So I really wasn't able to kind of get any of those guys to come over. But yeah, I mean the season is almost over, so we'll obviously try to find our spots. I did take Ajax today. I'll be honest. That was a game that I had something on. Thank you, Russ B. Appreciate that. Yeah, I really like the lower leagues, and obviously as some of the playoffs get here, I will be putting some of those out. Will Man City slip up in the next couple games, or will Liverpool fall a point short at the end? Well, look, it's going to be quite the end, per usual, in the Premier League. We usually have, again, last year we didn't. City was so good. But you look at really the end of the season here. What do we have, 3 or 4 games left? I got to tell you, I don't see Man City losing. They get Leicester this week. You have Brighton. That could be a tough one. But, I mean, there are not a lot of losable games here. You look at Liverpool. They obviously have their Champions Leagues mixed in. They have Newcastle, Wolves, and then their Champions League. Wolves have been a tough out, man. Real tough out. So, look, to me, I think at this point, I think City's going to find a way to win it. I just do. Unfortunately, that game back right after the holiday, I think it was New Year's, right after New Year's, where City was able to find the way to win that one, 2-1. They got that. I think I want to say it was Leroy Sané scored. That's the difference, and it's going to be the difference. That was a 6-point game right there. So I do think they're going to win. You also have to figure in they don't have to worry about the Champions League either. So I mean. Yeah, I mean, City looks like – but again, if you're Liverpool, you're almost, I guess, okay with it. But you have the shot at a double here. We'll see. What else do we have here? I used to love Jamie James on SBR. Jamie James, he's still around. I talk to him occasionally. Good call, Gaz. Great call. Overs tomorrow night in the new camp. Yeah, I mean, do we have any feeling? I think if you get bet both teams to score in over 2.5, I think that has to be the play, of course. NBA though tonight, I'll go Bucks first quarter -3, and I'll grab the under in the NBA game at 221. I can get that at Bet Online. Any comments or questions, feel free to throw them in. Here's what we'll do, guys, tonight. Best question wins a prize. The best overall question or contribution to the show from here to the end will win a prize. And you will get it, and you'll be announced what the prize is. So from here on out, participation is important. Best question or contribution to the show, where you tell me something I didn't know, or you ask me something interesting, and you get us thinking today, that will be the winner, and you will get a prize. It's all about contributions here on the show, and you have that shot right now. Do you like the under in the Bucks game? I don't have an opinion on the under in the Bucks game, but no, I would actually lean over if I had to play it. I think we'll see a much better offensive game out of the Bucks. And I think we also see many more free throws. Celtics didn't shoot a ton. You didn't get anything out of Jason Tatum. I think we see a game that goes over. But, again, we have a high total there. I'm not in love with overs a lot of the time in playoff games. Is Mike Brenner a Chippendale dancer now? No. Mike Brenner is in the real estate business. Lucky7, thanks for watching, my man. Hope you're doing well. I am the greatest. Thank you. Appreciate that, Jiho. You're very kind. Win a prize. best contribution to the show wins. NHL tonight, I'm going to go with the Bruins. I will take plus money on the Bruins. And yes, I know they're on the road. I know Columbus is going to be rocking tonight, but I like the Bruins. I think they're going to find a way here. I like the under. Took the under in game one. I do like the under. I think this is a low-scoring series. I think these are two of the better goalkeepers in the NHL. But in a toss-up, getting plus 115-ish, I'll take Boston. I think they're the better offensive team for sure. I'm grabbing the Bruins. I'll give you a score as well. I'm going to go 3-2 Boston. 3-2 Boston. Both games have been 3-2. I think all three games will be 3-2. And I'm going to give you my scores tonight. Okay, I'm going to give you Krejci. I'm going to give you Chara. And I'm going to go with Brad Marchand. Marchand, Krejci, and Zdeno Chara will score tonight. Might be, I don't know if it'll be a surprise, but we could see 4-2. If we do, I think Charlie McAvoy will find a way. Charlie McAvoy, definitely a shit starter, it seems like. In some of the games I've watched, he always seems like he's starting shit. The other game, Colorado and San Jose, no real opinion. Lean Colorado here at home. Again, I mean, that team just seems like the better side. I think San Jose is just kind of really lucky to be here, but this is 1-1. No real opinion on this game. Like Boston, I think they find a way tonight. All right. Cody Bellinger's 37 RBIs, which is the most in MLB history before May 1st. Whose record did he break? Wow. I have no idea. I would say, I don't know. Is he older or is it in the last 15 years? I'll say Barry Bonds. I don't know. Who do I think will win the NBA championship? I think the Warriors will win the NBA championship. Do I focus on – I don't bet the Kentucky Derby. I got to be honest. I'm not a hockey or a horse guy. 98 was the year. I'll go Barry Bonds or A-Rod or somebody like that. McGuire. Griffey could be it. That could be one too. Yeah, just give us the answer. I have a feeling one of us guessed it. It was Juan Gone. I don't even know who that is. I don't even remember who that is. I was 9 years old in 98. Juan Gonzalez. As I've already said, check out Tuna Talavo. Oh, I thought you were talking about Tua. I was like, yeah, we already know about him. Okay, I'll check him out. I don't really watch 8th grade prospects, but okay, thanks. Interesting. Do I think the Bears will actually win a Super Bowl with this franchise? With Fangio, will the defense fall apart? And do you think Cody Parkey deserved to get fired? Yeah, I do think Cody Parkey deserved to get fired because it wasn't just one thing with Cody Parkey. It was multiple games that were costed due to his inability to make field goals. The problem with Cody Parkey was you should have never got rid of Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould should have been your kicker. It's just that simple. Unfortunately, though, the McCaskies and that group are cheap, and they didn't want to pay Robbie Gould. But they probably would have went to the next round of the playoffs if they had a kicker. So unfortunately, yes, I do think he should have been removed. Do I think the defense will fall apart? No, I don't. Because I actually like Chuck Pagano. I think he's more of a coordinator, and I think they'll be just fine. I think defensive line is unbelievable. You love Mac. I think they have one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL. You look at their defense. You add Clinton Dix, Eddie Jackson coming back. I don't love their corners. I think they're good enough, but they went out and got Duke Shelley in the draft, who I really like. I think they had a good draft overall. I mean, they only had, I think, 4 or 5 picks, but I think they made the picks make sense. They went out and got a corner, which I think helps them a lot. They replaced Jordan Howard with David Montgomery, who I think can be slid right in. And, obviously Mitch Trubisky has to make that move. I would have liked to have seen them maybe address the receiving core a little bit better. They went out and got Riley Ridley, which, nice receiver there. But, I, I don't love their receivers. I would have liked to have seen them maybe go off and make a move for something. But will they win the Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't think. I think they'll get close. I kind of thought maybe this year was their shot because they were just kind of rolling. But I think they could get close. I don't know. That's a great question. I would say no, but I at one point said I don't think the Eagles ever will either. I don't think we know because I don't know what their team's going to be in 2 or 3 years. I'll always leave the option open. Over the next 5 years, I think they win the Super Bowl. Probably not, but again, 17 years from now, I don't know. With this regime, I'll say no. But I do like the Bears. I've been very vocal about that. Would I take Embiid or Jokic if I had the opportunity? I would take Embiid, but I do like Jokic a lot. I don't think there's a lot of difference, but I just think Embiid defensively, his ability to move around, I would take Embiid slightly. Did I already talk about the Eagles post-draft? Yeah, if you have any comments, I'll gladly talk about it. I saw that movie Gotti. It was great. Well, you have to be certain as to which Gotti you saw. The original Gotti is the greatest gangster movie ever, and I don't want to be added. Don't at me. Don't say I'm crazy. It is. From a standpoint of it being real, it is the realest portrayal of the mob I've ever seen. Armand Asante should have won every award possible for his role. He was absolutely terrific as John Gotti. And the fact that John Travolta has overshadowed him trying to play John Gotti is laughable. Listen, there are a few things in the world I know a lot about. Sports and the mob. And Armand Asante hit him out of the park. He was absolutely unbelievable. And the storyline was true. Everything about the storyline made sense. There wasn't any nose clearings or nose blowings. They didn't add anything in. It was tremendously well done. And from a mob perspective, it was incredibly real. Most of these mob movies are not real. Goodfellas, while it's loosely based on Jimmy Burke, Paul Vario, and Henry Hill, first of all, Henry Hill was not what they made him out to be in the movie. He was more of a lackey as opposed to a made man. He was never made. Jimmy Burke was not named Jimmy Conway. All those people are real people, but making it out to be all about Henry Hill, I would have liked to have seen a movie about Jimmy Burke as opposed to Henry Hill. Henry Hill was a rat, and he was a nobody for the most part. Why do you think Elijah Holyfield got passed up on? He is built like a tank, and he will make the Panthers roster this year. It's a good question. Why he was passed up on? I had him being drafted. Again, I had him drafted late. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he is kind of a smaller from a height perspective. He's not the biggest guy. He can move around though, for sure. He's more quick than fast. I've heard a lot of that. He's not the strides that he makes aren't gazelle-like, which are interesting. I don't know. That's a good question. I think he's more of a backup for sure. I don't know why he didn't get drafted. I thought the name sense was enough. But yeah, I think he'll make a roster, sure. What else do we have here? Here's an honest question. What is my opinion on Carson Wentz as a starter? Well, look, I like Carson a lot, but I worry about his injuries. He doesn't stay healthy. It's just that simple. And you don't have Nick Foles to bounce back on this year. It's not like you could say, well, there's our guy. He'll figure it out. Nick Foles to the rescue. I got to tell you, I'm doing this fucking show. These fucking lawn people have fucking all week to come mow the fucking grass, and they always typically pick 5:30. Fuck off. Come on here. Fuck, man. I'm trying to do a show. They're literally the one time during the day, the 24 hours they have to do this, The one 10-minute period where they come in front of my house is when I'm on the air. Irritating. Back to Wentz, though. Look, I like Wentz. I'm fine with Wentz. I think he'll be fine. I just worry about injuries. That's my true and honest opinion on it. Where did I get my Eagles shower curtains? I want to say I got it on the Eagles shop, I think. Is the original Gotti on Netflix? No, it's on YouTube. You can just search Gotti HBO, and it'll come right up. That's. I actually have it on DVD, but it's one of the few DVDs that I actually have. So, you can find it on YouTube and watch it for free. Tampa Bay Bucks over 6.5. Yeah, I don't get into win totals right now. I mean, I haven't even looked at the rosters fully yet. It's only April. We still have some things to kind of hash out. We still have kind of off-season workouts and things like that, mini camps. I don't bet win totals anyway, but, I mean, down the road, we'll talk a little bit more about that, Emza, for sure. No, it's not on HBO Go. It was put out in like 96. It's not on HBO Go. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free on YouTube. Browns over 9.5. Yeah, I'm not on that. Too trendy. 8-8, 9-7. I could see that. I'm not ready to go 9.5 though. I think Pittsburgh makes the AFC title game. Yeah, we'll definitely talk plenty of any NFL. We'll be on for another 5 minutes or so. If you have any last second comments, great participation today, guys. Really enjoyed the show. We've been on for about 45 minutes, and we've had constant work. It's been very good. So thanks for your comments for sure. Whitey Bulger was a badass. Whitey Bulger was a fucking scumbag rat piece of shit. What about Whitey Bulger was badass? I'd like to hear your opinion on that, Russ P. Whitey Bulger was a scumbag thug who, again, was in the mob. And again, he wasn't even in the mob. He was in the Winter Hill Gang, which is not the mob. And while he committed crimes, told others to commit crimes, and then finished those crimes, murdered people, he was talking to the federal government the whole time. Whitey Bulger is a scumbag rat piece of shit that deserves his fate. And frankly, Freddie Gias should be celebrated for his disposal. Whitey Bulger was a fucking loser, scumbag rat that deserves everything that he had coming to him. I'm not sure how he is a badass. I'd like to know that. But yeah, he's definitely not a badass. He is definitely a total shithead. I also saw Michael Franzese was on Vlad TV. Michael Franzese is another one. He's another complete shithead scumbag. That's what I have a problem with Vlad TV. I like Vlad TV a lot. I think the interviews are really good. The problem with Vlad TV is they bring on people like Michael Franzese who are complete rat scumbags and people that have thrown other people under the bus. People make them out to be these great guys, these stand-up guys. You know what's a real fucking shame about Michael Franzese? Michael Franzese is about as close to being a stand-up guy as every other rat is. His father's a stand-up guy. You want to talk about stand-up guys? Michael Franzese is a rat. Michael Franzese threw tons of people under the bus. He lies about everything he talks about. He didn't do any of that shit he talks about. He didn't create a gas scheme. He didn't know John Gotti and do business with him. He was a federal informant for a few years. It's on paper. You can find it. Michael Franzese is another one because Vlad puts these guys on, doesn't discuss that they are informants at one point, and people that don't know a ton about Michael Franzese act like Michael Franzese is some great guy. Michael Franzese is another. He's a total shithead. Now he's got this. He's a holier than God now. He's got this. He's now a big religious guy now. Look into his father. His father's a stand-up guy. You want to talk about stand-up guys? You want to talk about respect? His father's a respect, not him and his shithead brother. His own brother, Michael's brother, ratted out his father to not go to prison. That's what kind of guy he is. Make sure you look these people up before you say they're respected. How smug is that bastard Francesa? I used to like Mike growing up. He's so annoying and clueless now and thinks he's holier than thou, insinuating that Ballantyne is not a high character. Yeah, I thought he was way out of line with his behavior the other night. I was really disgusted with what I heard from him. Mike has become really a hateable guy. I used to listen to Mike. I still listen to Mike. I've listened to Mike for years, since I was a kid as well. I listened to two people when I was a kid, Howard Eskin and Mike Francesa. And Mike is rude. He's inconsiderate, and he is pretty clueless. I used to pattern a lot of the way I did things off Mike, but there's stuff about Mike that, I mean, he just is really a rude guy, for sure. Do you think Billy Walters is able to get bets in from the country club prison he is in at FCI Pensacola? Do you think he has mob connections? Do I think Billy Walters can get bets in? No. Because doing that is illegal from federal prison. In fact, you can't conduct any business from federal prison. That was one of the issues Martin Shkreli's had. Martin Shkreli is trying to run a hedge fund behind prison, and it's actually illegal. You can't do it. Do I think Billy Walters is getting bets out? No, I don't. Do I think that he gets visitors and they are patterned what to do? Probably, but again, I don't think he's getting bets in. Do I think he has mob connections? No, I don't. I mean, I really don't. What mob connections would he have? There's very little left of the Las Vegas group. Has he met mob guys? No, because the prison he's in is not got to have mob guys. So no, I don't think he has mob connections. Do I think he's met someone maybe connected to the mob? Maybe. But no, I don't think Billy Walters has mob connections, and I don't think he's putting bets in. Do I think his runners are maybe told what to do? Sure. But the federal government listens to conversations on prison phones. That would be sniffed out pretty quick. But again, I mean, as you said, he's in more of a country club atmosphere. So, the visits, when you visit someone at a federal correctional institute, I mean, you get a good amount of time. So, yeah, I think Billy's smart enough to probably figure a way. Do I think he's doing it every day? No. Do you like Whitey Bulger? No, I don't. I don't know how much about Bulger, but I don't like the guy at all. Yeah, I would research him. He's definitely a guy that, that's what the problem with the movies is. Most of these stories people want to hear, and they're good movies. Like Black Mass is a pretty good movie, but, most of the people that have movies about them are shitheads. I mean, total shitheads. So, I would just kind of morally less look into that as opposed to just kind of believing in them. Eric Nisbet, Michael Franzese is the man. Michael Franzese, respect. Yeah, Eric, I think it's time for you to go through a little bit of some research as well, and you will find that Michael Franzese is not the man. His father is, but he's not. Couldn't agree more. I cringe when he tries to talk golf. Yeah, I mean, I was cringing a lot when he was trying to talk college basketball. Where he'd like tell me we'll call in, and he would try to say like stuff about like Virginia, and he would just. That's why I thought the Ty Jerome thing was awesome. Like I thought that was really well done. Like with the way he handled like the questions and stuff. Terrific. But all right, guys, I'm out of here. You all have a good night. Indians, Marlins. Yeah, I kind of like the Indians, but I don't trust them enough offensively. I think power outage Bauer is good, but I don't trust their offense enough. So didn't really have much in that one. Thanks for watching, guys. Really fun show. A lot of great participation. A lot of good comments. Mixed some mob stuff in. Eric Nisbet, GOP in 2020. Go Trump. Yeah, listen, we're not talking politics, Nisbet. That can only go one way. It's not really a way I think we want it to. Louis, Alex, Brad, Russ, Emza, Sekov, Nisbet, Alex Wander, Russ B, all of you guys, thanks for sticking in, watching the show. All of you guys that watched the entire thing. Actually, you know what? Comment of the day. I'm actually going to go with Stone Cold Steve D. I thought that was an interesting question, actually. I really liked it, actually. Wish we had more questions like that. Really good question. Stone Cold, get in touch with me on Twitter. We'll get you a prize. And great participation, man. Really good question. Thought it opened up to a good conversation. So yeah, that's that. All of you have a good night. Thanks for watching. We'll go with a couple of those NBA plays I mentioned. Go with Bruins as well. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. I believe Ian Cameron will join us as well. Everyone have a great night. Bye-bye.